It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Hello and welcome to the Limitless Coach Success Podcast. I'm your host, Sabine Matharu, and I am thrilled to embark on this journey with you today. I am a coach, course creator, consultant, and I've been working with over 1,000 female entrepreneurs in the last 10 years. And my flagship program is the Limitless Coach Success Formula. So in this podcast today, I am always bringing in amazing guests, and I just love having interesting conversations and helping other female entrepreneurs move forward in their business. So if you would like some resources, by the way, there are some obviously below this video, so on my podcast page, so there you could just download a range of free resources that will help you build your business. So today I have the honor of introducing the amazing Steph Blake. I have been working with her for the last sort of couple of months because she was hosting a giveaway bundle, and she is just amazing. She's just awesome organizer, and she's agreed to come on and just share what she does and share her tips, because what I heard is that she recently retired her husband from a 9-to-5 job. She has been able to build a multi-six-figure business working less than 20 hours a week. And I also know that she has she's a mom, so she has small children, and there's probably one of the reasons why she's now so in love with working less than 20 hours a week. And we just want to know what you're doing, Steph. So huge welcome. Take the stage, just introduce yourself in a couple of words, and then we have juicy questions.
Yeah, thank you so much for that introduction, and thank you for having me here. I'm so excited to just have this conversation with you because I just have so much to share. I have so much to share, and I'm so excited. So, like Sabine said, my name is Steph Blake, and I am a business coach, productivity expert. I'm the founder and CEO of the Simple Business School, where we help online business owners run simple, streamlined, and profitable businesses in less than 20 hours per week. And I have been in the online space at this point for almost 8.5 years. Prior to that, I was in corporate for almost 10 years. And there was some overlap in the middle, as well, as most people have. So yeah, I mean, that's the short version, the very, very short version. And I'm sure there's some other pieces that we may weave in during this.
Absolutely. Awesome. Yeah. So, so you do work 20 hours or less a week?
Yeah. So here's the thing with that.
Wow.
I get this question all of the time.
Yes.
Now, the reason I'm so passionate about running a business in 20 hours a week is because as an online business owner, it's not necessary to run your online business in more than 20 hours a week unless you choose to. And I realized this was the case after I got pregnant with my first son. So I have, at the time of recording this, I have a 5-year-old and a 16-month-old. So right when I got pregnant almost 6 years ago with my 5-year-old, I was in my 9-to-5 job, and I was working 80+ hours a week on top of my business. And I realized that if I did not strategically design my business to work less, I was going to end up in the hospital because I was pregnant. I was exhausted, as anybody who's been pregnant knows. It takes pretty much everything from you. And on top of that, I just didn't want to stay in a 9-to-5 job, and have a newborn baby and run this business. So that was really what made me decide to not only simplify things in my business, but also want to work less, because I also wanted to be available for my kids when they were around. I go, Mom, she was working 80 hours a week and I barely saw her. So I just knew that I wanted to do something different for my kids. Now, when I talk about running a business in 20 hours a week, I'm talking about being able to achieve your goals in that amount of time. So for example, if you want to make 6 figures a year in 20 hours a week, you can do that, right? If you want to add something on, so for example, you reached your goal. Your goal was to make 6 figures in a year, work 20 hours a week. Great, you reached that goal. Now you have this idea for this other offer that you add on to your business. Maybe it's going to require you to work 30 hours some weeks. Maybe it's going to require you to work 40 hours some weeks, right? But you don't have to worry about hustling to make that cash to reach your goals, because at the 20-hour week mark, you've already done it, right? So when I talk about working in 20 hours a week, I talk about setting up a business that will allow you to reach your goals, surpass your goals in that amount of time. After that, if you choose to add other components on, do it. But know that it may require some more time from you, right? Either maybe you need to hire some people to support you, right? So yes, and I wanted to preface this conversation with that, because there are many times where I work 15 to 20 hours a week, but then there are also times where I will work 30, 35, sometimes 40 hours a week if I'm working on a big project. Because although I'm good at what I'm doing and I can work quickly, I'm only human, right? Yeah. So for example, I'm in the process of creating a new all-in-one software tool, right? That requires me to learn new things, and it's just going to take a little bit of time, right? But I know if I were to not do that, my business would be fine and I could still work 15 hours a week. It's because I made this to add this extra thing on because I had the space for it, because it was the right time for me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it totally makes sense. And thanks for bringing this up, because quite often we can just feel guilty and are not doing anything about it and work silly hours, even weekends and evenings. Well, I actually found myself doing that much too. But then we tend to be so passionate about what we do and we don't see it as work. But then I guess we'd also need to look at the profitability in our businesses and see what we actually lose if we are going and whether we can actually focus for that many hours as well, because quite often in evenings it's just not going to be productive anymore, and that made me like lose time, valuable time with my kids then, and not seeing them grow up at times. So I guess this is the big why, isn't it? It's a very beautiful why, and I think many more female entrepreneurs need to actually just review that why. And it also reminds me the times that I was in corporate myself as a continuous improvement manager and lean manager, and that's all about saving money and saving time, improving things. And quite often we would start doing an audit on what is it that you're actually doing right now. And I can guarantee when I did that, 50% of time I was just watching other people and videos or scrolling on social media and actually not doing things that would actually drive the results. And it's just a bit of procrastination and temptation in there as well. So yeah, that's what I noticed.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, absolutely. And again, that's another hour-long conversation that we can have about mindset, procrastination, all of that, right? And one thing that you said resonated with me. So one thing I've come to learn is I had a business before I had kids, and I have kids now, so it's not after kids, it's during kids, right? Yeah. And it's different. It is so incredibly different, because before kids, you can just do whatever you want when you want, right? Now that I have children, I have learned I cannot do whatever I want when I want, even with my husband home, right? So this is just a very recent thing that I have started to incorporate in my routine. Is we are in spring now. I'm in Chicago, so it's been very nice this week. So I haven't been working during the day because I've wanted to go outside, hang out with my kids, go for walks. So what I've been doing is instead I'm at night. And I've been okay with that because I've been able to, and again, this may just be something that's unique to me, but I've been able to adjust my schedule to the literal season that we're in right now. Now, in the middle of winter, I prefer to work during the day, right? And then it's dark at 4 o'clock and then I'll climb into bed or whatnot. So I think that's another important thing to mention is the flexibility that you get as well when you do have your own business, right? Because I mean, you can choose when you want to work, because my kids are little, right? I want to be around. I want to go to the park with my oldest son. You know, I want to do that, and I can't do that at nighttime.
And once you've had this quality time with them, you feel better about it as well.
And they do
Right?
too. It's I'm so glad you said that, because I've noticed such a change in my kids after I've been able to spend really devoted time in the middle of the day with them versus just seeing them at the end of the day when I'm just kind of tired and not wanting to like do much. But when we have that time either in the morning, middle of the day, where I can really focus on them and give them the attention they need, our relationship has gotten so much better. It's
Yeah.
pretty incredible.
And I think you fill your cup up as well. You feel much
For
more
me too.
creative
Yeah,
to then go and produce something in your business.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's so powerful.
yeah. And I mean, on the flip side, I've had a lot of, I mean, I'm just going to be honest here. I've had um, a lot of issues personally with mindset around money and scarcity and fear, just like pretty much all of us, right? Because we grow up in societies where they teach you that you have to work really, really hard and you have to work a lot to make a lot of money. So that's something that I have struggled with because I grew up with a single mom who was working 80 hours a week, right? That's what I grew up knowing. And it's been so interesting after I've taken a step, quote unquote, in a way, especially during the days, reduce my work hours, more money and more opportunities are just coming in left and right,
Yeah.
which is, again, that's another conversation that we can have.
I love that. That's definitely another conversation, because
Yeah.
I think quite often we're just trying to force things, and I guess we just need to step back sometimes and just listen and have that quiet space, or do things that really light us up, like being with our kids, or going for a walk, or treating ourselves to something, and just do something different, and instead of just hustle, hustle, hustle. In the long run, it will produce much more results. So you obviously you just sort of skyrocket your results through, I don't know how to explain it. I'm not a mindset coach, but I just noticed that you just fill yourself up, and you just have many more ideas, and you have ideas as to how you want to do things and how you don't want to do things, because quite often we suffer with indecision in business, or going down a wrong path that isn't quite aligned, and we're trying to sort of fit things in which don't really fit. And sometimes I noticed when I took time off, I realized actually I don't want to do it anymore, or I don't align with this person or this client or this particular client persona. I'm going to change it up. So that's the
Yeah,
kind
no,
of shifts that can happen, right?
absolutely. And I will say that's easier said than done, right? Especially for people who grow up with workaholic parents, right? You tend to turn into a workaholic yourself because you don't know any better, right? And I mean, that's something that I noticed whenever I would, especially when I started my business. Like I said, I was working 80 to 100 hours a week between my business, my 9 to 5 job. And I did it because I didn't know any better. And it's really hard to get out of that cycle when you're an entrepreneur, because one time it's very easy to just say, I'm going to go and try this thing. I'm going to test this strategy. And it's, I think, much harder to walk away and give yourself that space, because everybody says you need the space. Everybody says that. Everybody says you need to take breaks. But when you're sitting behind your computer, you're looking at the amount of money that's come in, and you think, oh my gosh, that's not enough money. I need to keep working. I need to keep doing in order to make more. That's where that fear sets in. That's where that scarcity sets in. And that's when you almost stay in this space of hustling and grinding and doing for, I mean, years and years. People stay in this space for their entire lives, right?
Yeah.
And that's where the burnout comes. That's where the sickness comes in, right? Instead of just taking that time to, I mean, this conversation is going in so many places that I didn't think it was
I was
going to
just
be, which
about
is
to say,
great.
maybe we can focus it down and give a couple of
Yeah,
steps as to,
yeah,
what is it that one,
yeah,
if you once you realize, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm actually in this cycle,
yeah,
what should you be doing? What's your
yeah.
best advice?
that was the perfect segue. I'm glad that we're bringing it back in. Also, I have ADHD, so I can go on a
Oh,
on a
we're
couple
both
different.
multi-passionate, aren't we?
Exactly. So anyway, in order to like reel yourself in, my biggest piece of advice is to keep it simple. Keep it really, really simple and focus on selling one thing. Focus on selling one thing, speaking to one person, and solving one problem. That's it. That's really all you need to do. And I see so many people with 10, 15, 20 different offers out there because that's what they think they're supposed to be doing. And they're wondering why they're not getting results. They have 10 different people they're speaking to with these offers. They have 10 different marketing messages, and nobody knows what they do. Nobody knows what they're great at. It's really confused. Like if you were to talk to me, you know that I'm Steph Blake. I help people run simple businesses in 20 hours a week. Like that's my message, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Before this, I was doing everything just like everybody else, right? And if you're in that space now where you have this digital product shop and you have a coaching business and you have, I don't know, all of these different things that you're trying to sell, focus on one thing. Focus on one thing, sell one thing, solve one problem. Once you reach that goal, for example, my goal was to reach multiple six figures in 20 hours a week. I reached that goal, then I added something else on, right? And do that, you can stay laser focused. You can stay laser focused on what you need to be doing. Do that for, I always say, minimum 6 months. Minimum 6 months, ideally 6 to 12 months. Stay in your one lane. Once you reach that goal, do something else if you want to. You don't have to stay there forever, right? Like I could never stay in one lane forever, as you could probably tell by this conversation.
Exactly right. It's building a foundation. That's what I always say. Like build a foundation, you can expand later. It doesn't mean that you have to be forever in the same place. You can do many different things. Like for example, my things, evergreening stuff. So evergreening marketing. But then within that, I can talk about evergreen content systems, evergreen webinars, evergreen challenge launches and stuff like that. But there's an overarching something that you want to be known for.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. So for example, mine is all about simplifying businesses, right? So I have my Simple Business School. That's my core offer. That's the one thing that I do. On top of that, I host, as you know, bundles, right? I host quarterly bundles. They're all focused on simplicity. And the reason why I do that is because I want people to come into my world and then come into my offer, my membership, right? And then on top of that, I have another layer that I'm just now starting, which is a software suite called the Simple Business Suite to really simplify all of the software in your business. So everything in your business is simplified then, right? Your offers, your software, all of it, right? And it all works together, right? And anybody can do this in their business. Like you said, like your focus is on evergreen. So you can evergreen content, you can evergreen webinars, you can evergreen funnel, you can evergreen anything, you know?
Yeah. Why doing it over and over again?
Yep.
Right. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Spaghetti marketing, right? That's the challenge. That's the issue, that a lot of people don't know their foundations. And then they try this, they try that, and then there's a new offer, and I see that all the time when we do webinars. They're like, "Oh, let me change my offer." No. Do you know that the registration page is, the message on it isn't converting, or do you know that your webinar is not being built in the right structure? So it's really about being systematic about what it is, how you're going to run your business, and I think it will longer term will make it easier to scale and to get people in to do couple of jobs as well. And you like, for example, start with a VA, because if you don't have systems and don't keep it simple, you can never scale, because you can't hand it over to someone else because they don't understand what's going on. There's too many things going on, too many variables being thrown around, right?
That's exactly it. When you have one offer, right? You have one offer. You're solving one problem with one offer. You create the systems for that. You create the processes. You hire team members to support you if you need to. Great. That's done. Do it again.
and maybe just focus on one traffic source. Maybe just go with Facebook a while, or Instagram for a good while, and really get this sorted, get this
Yep.
nailed. A lot of people want to be everywhere, you know,
Yep.
and then they're nowhere.
Yeah,
And then they
that's
serve
part.
everyone, they serve anyone.
Exactly. That's part of my 5-part approach. So solve one problem for one person with one offer on one platform with one marketing message. And that last one, the marketing message, is usually where people get hung up too. I mean, they get hung up on all of them, right? But it's really nailing down that problem, because if you don't know the problem that you're solving, you can't sell anything, right? So that's really the main thing you need to figure out. What problem are you solving for people? Because every company, every business solves a problem in some
Mm,
way. So you need to figure out what that is. And once you understand that, it's going to make all of those other pieces so much easier.
yeah,
So much easier.
the foundation. Perfect. Now, you are going to host another bundle. Now, can you explain a little bit more about what are these bundles? I mean, I've seen you're so super organized. You had like 50 contributors, so every quarter you have like 50 people that you're managing, and you get massive visibility. So talk a little bit about how you structure this, and then also tell us about your next bundle and help you. And obviously, we'll leave a link to that as well because people can sign up to the wait list as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So a bundle is essentially a collection of resources that a group of people give access to, and people those up differently. Some do free bundles where you can get access to all of the resources for free. I personally do very low cost paid bundles, because I firmly believe that when you pay for something, you're going to use it. Like that saying goes, when you pay attention, right? So
Actually, you're right, because someone actually connected with me because obviously I was part of your collaborators in the last bundle, and they emailed me such a lovely email. They said, "Thank you so much for this wonderful resource," and it's just was a beautiful thank you message, basically. So they were really enjoyed the content. Normally, when someone just signs up for a freebie, they probably don't look at it in detail and go through it and appreciate it that in that way.
right, exactly. So that's always been my intention, because I don't want people to just grab resources for the sake of it. Like, if you're going to access a resource, you need to use it, right? You need to take action, because it's doing no good just sitting in your digital cemetery, in your Google Drive folder, right? It's doing no good there. So in the bundles that I host, like I said, they're all very low cost, and all of the contributors, like you, will share a resource that's normally paid. So typically it's a minimum of about $27 for each product that's contributed, but from 27, I've had people contribute $500 products. So anything in that price range, and anybody who purchases that bundle will get all of those resources, like I said, for a very low price, typically like $7. Right. So access to thousands and thousands of dollars of resources for a very small price. And I always make sure that when I'm hosting these bundles, I'm really picky about the people who are contributing and the resources that they're giving, because like you said, I want to make sure they're high quality, right? I don't want people just throwing weird random stuff together for this. I want to make sure that the people who
Your
are buying this
reputation
are
as
having
well,
a good
right?
experience.
Yeah, it's your
Exactly.
reputation as well.
It is. It's I'm on the line. I'm the
Yeah.
host of this. And yeah, so essentially what this is for a limited time, it's usually 5 days, you can sign up for this bundle. We just wrapped up the last bundle. The next one is opening in August. August 15th is the Simple Sales Bundle. That one is going to be focused specifically on sales and selling and just helping you make more money in your business. And then in October, we're doing the Simple Online Business Bundle. And that one is a little bit more open, and it's really focused on just resources that will help you in your online business. So I like to have a couple that are very focused on a specific topic. For example, we just wrapped up one about, we have one coming up about sales and selling, but then I like to have one that's a little bit more open and just kind of fun, right? So that's what that bundle is. And yeah, like Sabine said, we'll make sure that you get a link to sign up for the wait list for the sales bundle, because we give some fun bonuses to people who are on the wait list too.
Amazing. And it's just so much fun. I mean, the whole what you do, I think there's a VIP call as well. So there's many different and amazing resources. I mean, it's just insane. You would probably pay thousands of dollars to access all of this usually. So
Yeah.
you're doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, normally, like this past bundle, it would have been $3,200 if you would have purchased everything, which is, don't do that.
No,
Save your money.
exactly.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So I'm gonna pop your links underneath the video, obviously, and the audio wherever you hear this, you will find Steph's information and also the waitlisted bundle. Any last words you want to share with the audience before we're off? Any golden nuggets?
Yeah. So again, this probably won't come as much as a surprise, but my biggest piece of advice is to really keep things simple in your business and stay as focused you possibly can, because that is what will actually lead you to reaching your goals. So pick, if you're working with a mentor or a coach, or you're signing up for a course, whatever, pick something that is truly aligned with the problem that you're solving and the offer that you're solving, and work with somebody that you connect with, that has proven that they have done the thing that you want to do. And then just go all in and follow what they're saying, because they've done it and they know. But do your research and just, again, stay as focused as possible, because that's going to make all of the difference in the world.
And do the thing, and
just do it.
Get uncomfortable as well at times.
It's all going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be uncomfortable.
It is, yes.
You're going to fail every single day, and it's okay.
But it's building a muscle. It's that building that muscle, because you can grow that. You can expand, and you may have felt uncomfortable in the beginning. For example, me being on video felt uncomfortable. Now it's comfortable. Okay, what's the next thing? Maybe me being on real stages, because that at the moment feels uncomfortable. But if you go and do it, you practice, it will become comfortable as well. So that's with everything in life and in business.
Yeah,
same concept.
Absolutely. Yeah, I completely agree. The first time I was on video, I thought I was going to pee my pants. I was so terrified.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Now just open up a video and I'll talk about anything.
Exactly.
Right. But that came over time, and lots of mistakes made, and me saying ridiculous things. So it's okay. It will always get better.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Steph. I really appreciate that you came on as a guest, and really appreciated this conversation. So many golden nuggets shared. So thank you so much. And go over, join the bundle, and follow Steph as well.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.